Hey, if you want to help a guy out, watch this video all the way to the end, because that really makes a difference. Let me get my hat on. I can't hardly know how to act without a hat on. Okay, there is a reason for the madness of just putting some spots on that. You know, take your guesses and put your comments down below.
Yes, this Dodge is a D for dirty brown.
The next guy can take it to a whole new level. Come on, Bessie. Oh my goodness. She is a beast, I tell you, a beast.
D stands for did it ever run?
Now, I'm pretty sure I've told you this before, that this is not the proper way to do any of this.
Yes, you too can own this 1974 Dodge D100 pickup for the low payment of $49.95.95.
You know, the 10-year fix. So if you want to do the 45-year fix, then you'll have to do it differently.
Welcome to RCindustry.
Woo, doggies. Whew. Warm me up, baby. Okay, well, as you can see, this is where we got in the last video. I sprayed this stuff down with my rust converter. So today we're gonna scab in these little pieces here, and we're gonna measure and make sure that our overall door length is correct. And I wasn't really able to check it before, but I measured the other door, and the other door is like 31 inches from here, from this outer edge of the door skin to this top crease. So, I mean, we're going to get it close. We just don't want it hanging way down like this and covering up the rocker. So, anyway, let me get busy and start grinding, and I'll show you more. Okay, well, we're going to clean this off across here, because this is where our weld mark is at, just right under this stripe. And then we're going to clean these areas up so we can weld this to this, and then we'll tack it back here on this part as well. And then that lip on that new panel folds over, so that should be fairly simple. A little bit of a dent there I didn't notice, so we'll have to hammer that out a little bit. So let's get started. I know you've seen me do this 100 times, but we're going to do her again. So there we go. Got to turn my helmet on. Okay, that's welded on there. Come over here and weld this piece. Get a screwdriver here. Alright, well, we got that tacked in. I just wanted to tack this. Now we're going to flip the door over and we're going to weld the back side of this. So that these things are actually attached to the door. And then we'll have lips to slide that new piece up onto and secure it, get it measured just right, clamp down, and then we'll start welding it as well. I do need to take this and beat this a little bit here. What's going on here? That thing is got a dent in it right there. better. All the way across that. It's still a little bit right there. I just want that to lay nice and flat in there. Okay, I think we're pretty good there. All right, let's see if we can flip this door over. This thing is heavy. I can tell you that. Come on, Bessie. Oh my goodness. She is a beast, I tell you, a beast. There. Well, we gotta get this bent down there, like so. Drain holes, and then that's the factory drain hole, and then here's the element made drain holes. So that should be okay. All right, let's get this cleaned up with the grinder so we can secure a few spot welds on that. Show you more. I know you all saw Race Car Ricky in the last episode because he wasn't too happy about the fact that we were modifying his race truck. What's going on? Move this down over here so I can get it up there where it needs to be. Well, now what's going on? We've got a good ground, I guess. Really surprised me. Does it you? I mean, have you seen this piece we're working on here? Now this thing is real long. I'm gonna have to cut her off a little. Let's try it again. I think you kind of see the picture. I'm going to go ahead and fill this in some more, and we'll do the same to the other side. Show you more. Okay, well you can see I've got this test bitted, and I took my tape measure underneath, and we're going to have to cut about, I don't know, probably 3/16 of an inch off of this all the way across here so that this will slide up under there more, because we're not quite to where we need to be. So with that said, I think we're actually going to flip the whole thing over and double check it, but that's what it's looking like to me, and then we'll just have to turn it back when we go to spot weld all this in. So anyway, all right, show you more. Well, with a little manipulation on the situation here, we got this thing up to 9 at the bottom of that stripe, which is the way the other one was. So I think we're where we need to be. So let me get this cleaned up, and we'll put some tacks across here to hold this in place, and then we'll flip it back around and work on these edges. We've got to get the edges bent down under and welded up and all that. So, all right, show you more. Now, I'm pretty sure I've told you this before, that this is not the proper way to do any of this. But, you know, it's It's the way I do things. And just don't be afraid to get out there and just try to do something. It don't matter if it's right or wrong. Besides, you know, I'm not doing this for a client. I'm doing it for me. Just trying to protect that stripe a little. And it's gonna be just fine for what I need it to do. All right, let's get this tacked up. Now, believe it or not, there is a reason for the madness of just putting some spots on that. You know, take your guesses and put your comments down below. No, well, yeah, do that, but here's the reason I do it that way. Is because too many times I have put this in position and welded her up and it'd be off. So we don't want to do that. We're going to double check it right now. And we are still at 9. And we are at 9, so we're good there. So let's flip this thing over and see what we can get done. Show you more. Okay, well, one more thing we're going to do before we weld this is we're going to come in here with our die grinder or whatever that little cutoff wheel is. And we're going to cut that right there. And we're going to cut that back so this will fold over, and then we want it long from here over because that's where we're going to weld to. But we want to try to tie it in with this original the best we can. And the same thing is going on over here. We'll cut it back to about here, and then we can lay this whole thing over. And I actually may cut a little V out of this so this will lay better. So, all right, show you more. Okay, well, we got that welded up across here. Now I'm going to take this wire brush and scuff this all up, and we're going to get some short strand fiberglass, and we're going to work all in this area, and so that we can smooth it up a little bit. You know, we've got a little bit of rust reduction going on there. So we'll kind of fill that in with some short strand fiberglass. This is up in the area where the hinges are at, so no one's ever going to see that. And we did spray all that up in there and everything with that, our rust proofing, so we just kind of want to hide that a little. Remember, we're only fixing this for, like, you know, the 10-year fix. So if you want to do the 45-year fix, then you'll have to do it differently. Okay, well, I got that short strand fiberglass laid in there. I don't know how well you can see that. It's not very much good light out here. And it's so cold out, I can't open up the garage door. So, but you can kind of get the idea here. Now we're going to flip it over and do the welding on the other side. And we'll probably put some, you know, regular Bondo over that. Hopefully, if it lays real good and flat, that's all we're going to need to do. Show you more. Alright, I ain't going to make you watch all this because you've seen me do it 100 times. And most of you don't like the way I weld anyway. So, with that being said, let's just get right at it. Alright, let's do it. Well, hey guys and gals, I wanted to take this brief instant to let you know the best way to support this channel is to get your RCindustry merch. Trucker hat, hoodie, we got gray t-shirts, we got black t-shirts, and we got white t-shirts. And since it's cold outside, of course, like I said, we have hoodies, and these come in all 3 colors as well. So stay warm out there, and remember, go to Shop RCindustry and get all the merch. Thanks for supporting the channel. Oh, okay, well, we got that ground down. Let me get my hat on. I can't hardly know how to act without a hat on. Okay. So, got that smoothed down. It's all solid on there. We're going to mix up a little bit more of short strand fiberglass, and we're just going to lay a real small little channel of that right in there. And then we'll take I've got a little round tube that used to have sandpaper around it, and we'll sand that to the contour, because this door kind of comes up just like that. And this is the best place to put a spot like that, because you're never really going to see it because of the body line. So anyway, let's get busy, get some short strand on here, let her get hard. Show you more. Now I know that you guys have seen me mix up some of this short strand fiberglass many times. But in case you're new to the channel, we're going to mix up just a little bit now. We don't need a whole lot because there just isn't that much area up there where we've welded that together. So we're going to get a blob of this in here. Our old cans are getting low. We've had this for a while. Where's my lid at? Oh, there it is. You guys ever misplaced stuff in your shop? My shop is so full of crap, it's hard to find anything. See, you can tell it's getting low because this stuff is getting low. She's getting low on me. I don't even know if there's any in it, to be honest with you. Oh, yeah. There's a little bit. Alright. Now, like I said before, you don't want to whip this stuff. You just kind of want to smear it. You know, you've all had them smears before. So, just kind of smear this around and get it mixed up, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Get that bright blue all mixed in with this horrible looking green color. And that is all you gotta do right there. Now, we're gonna take this doogie whopper here, and we're gonna go over there to that door, and we're gonna spread some of this on there. Alright, show you more. Okay, well, I hope you can see this. What I did was I took some tape and laid, because I don't want it all down in here. So we're just gonna do this right here, all the way down through here. And is this the right way to do it? Absolutely not. But does this way work? Absolutely it does. Oops. I mean, I've done this before. This ain't my first rodeo. I really need a narrow one of these, but that's why this one's cut off, because I cut a chunk of it off before on another project, but I didn't think about it until we already got over here and got the smearing. So that's just the way that is sometimes. Now, you've heard me say it before, you don't want to overwork this stuff, which is exactly what I'm doing. You kind of want to do it like drywall. Just get it right the first time, you know? And then when we go to sand this, we're gonna have to be very careful that we don't sand that stripe off, or what's left of that stripe. There's not a whole lot of it there, but I'm just trying to, you know, keep it looking old. It's not an original stripe anyway. It's just something somebody added in there for whatever reason. Let's see here. Hey, if you want to help a guy out, watch this video all the way to the end, because that really makes a difference on the YouTube thing. And if you think it's boring and you don't want to watch it, well, just turn it on and go do something else. Just let it play. You know what I'm saying? I do that a lot of times to my regular YouTube channels that I watch myself, just because I know that it helps them out. And I really just don't have time to watch all of my YouTube channels anyway, because there just ain't time. Just take your time. I mean, it's not getting hard yet, but she's gonna get hard on you. That happens. It depends on what you're doing. All right, about as good as we're gonna do it, I think. Now I'm gonna hopefully peel this off of here, because I don't want to glue this tape. Uh-oh. She's pulling up my stripe. I was afraid of that. I was afraid that might happen. How did I know that? I think I've done that before. Oh boy. Try to get this off here before that starts getting hard. I may just have to replace some of that stripe. She's wanting to come off on me. Yeah, see, I lost a little of it right there. Oh well. We gave it our best shot. We gave it our best shot. What's that song? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away, baby. Okay, well, I'm going to start cleaning up in here. I'm not going to sand this. It's starting to get hard. This is already dry on the backside. I'm just going to go ahead and put this door back on the truck, because the wife is coming home today. She's been on a trip, and she's going to want to put her buggy in here. And, you know, she can't get in here right now, that's for sure. So, I'm going to get this bolted back on out there, and you know, we talked about adjusting it over a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I may show you that when I get to that point. But yeah, I need to get that on, get that plastic off that truck, and yeah, clean this up in here. Shop safety. I don't like welding inside, so you know, this is early in the morning. It's still, you know, it's not even noon yet, so that's a good thing. I don't like welding in here because of sparks can get everywhere, and you saw me grinding. That's why I've got my convertible covered up. I didn't want stuff getting on it. So I'm going to take my shop back, and I'm going to really sweep this good in all the corners, and it needs it anyway. And then I'll take the bag, because my shop vac's got a paper bag in it, and I'll take the bag out and put it with all of this kind of stuff like here. Let me show you. Like that stuff right down there. Because this has got fiberglass resin on paper, and you know, it does get warm when it sets up, and so sometimes, you know, it could cause a problem. And we just don't want that. So yeah. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'll show you more. It's quite obvious that these hinges have been screwed up before. That one especially, this is all bent here. So the bottom of the door needs to go back towards the latch. So in other words, it needs to go back like this. And I got it back with these washers in behind there, and kind of staggered it by putting one here. And now, if I get back over here where you can see it, why the door actually does real nice. It's lined up. It's never been lined up here before, and it's not bad here. It's rubbing just a little bit, but I think we can get that out of the fender. And it's where it needs to be all through here, but now the acceptor here in the latch is a little low, so I'm going to see if we can slide that up. Hopefully it's got some adjustment left. And you're supposed to use a star socket on this, but it looks like somebody's mangled it up before, so we're going to use these vice grips and do it that way. There, if you went up just a little bit. I don't want to take it too much, but yeah, it goes right in there now. Look at that. And we got a pretty good gap here. But we don't have much gap up here. If I can get you up there to see, we don't have much gap here. And I got a feeling this thing's been beat on so much. I think this fender, when the bumper was hit, it probably pushed it back some. Well, I looked up and the camera wasn't cameraing. It is now. So we wound up adjusting this out just a little bit more. There's the first click. There's the second. So she shuts good now. And it's not rubbing up here because we got a good seam here. This fender's tweaked. And we still got a patch in this, so, but I think other than that, it's looking pretty good. So I am going to roll this window up and pick up out here and get back in there and clean up, and we'll get back on this, I don't know, maybe tomorrow. Show you more. Well, hey, it's Rick here, and it's been a day or two, but we need to get out here and get this sanded down and get some black paint, get this scuffed up and get some black paint on it. Then we need to get the mirror put back on and clean this up, because this has got overspray from when we sprayed that rust stuff in there, and we need to get that cleaned off here. So let me get something and get this sanding done. Show you more. Okay, well, I've got some 80 grit here, and I'm going to take and put this on my little round thingy here, like so. Because this has got a little bit of a contour, so we want to follow that along, and I just want to kind of get this roughed off of here a little, and we're going to take my time, and we're going to kind of feather that in. So I'll show you more when I get done. Okay, so you can see that I did go ahead and put some tape on here to help protect that stripe best we could. But you can see that I've got this kind of worked like that, and it's pretty smooth, but you know, it's 80 grit. So we're going to take the DA now, and we're going to feather up this way with the DA on this 220 paper, and get some of those sanding scratches out of there. The air compressor's running in the background. You can see that we're just feathering that up like that, and then we're going to paint it. So let me go ahead and finish doing that, and I'll show you more. Okay, well, we got sanded off. And, you know, I've told you before, if you can feel it, you're going to see it with the paint. And so that just blends right into there. Now there's a couple of low spots here, but we're not going to worry about that. If we were fixing this, we'd put some primer in here and some spot putty and do some more sanding, blocking back actually. There isn't, and so we're not. Let's pull this off of here if we can, because we need to put some stuff on there. And you know, this is a good 20 footer, guys. Maybe 30, you know? Depends on how good your eyesight is. I just basically wanted some metal in here. The next guy can take it to a whole new level. Or gal. Doesn't have to be a guy. 3% of you that watch my channel are gals. At least that's what the information says. You know how information works. All right, let's put some paint on that. And of course, today's paint of the day is Rust-Oleum, and it's got all the primer and everything just built right into it. So let's just put some of that on there. Kind of see what it winds up looking like. The only thing I don't like about this is it's not quite the exact same color, but it is what we've been using on the rest of it, so it does match all what we've already got on. I see a spot I forgot to put some tape on. We'll do that. Something like that. I don't want to get too much black. I'm not too worried about this up here because obviously we got to cut that out and fix that. Alright. I got that thick enough. I think we're going to get some runs. That's always helpful. Alright, show you more. Well, hey, it's Rick here. And today I just kind of wanted to tell you about, we're going to start some memberships on the channel. If you want to join, you can. Level 1 is the Show You More level. And that's the lowest level you can get in on, and you're going to get early access to all the videos, and you're going to get priority answers on your comments, and we're going to have loyalty badges, so you'll have all that kind of stuff if you're into that. And level 2 is called Just Like Brand Used, baby, and you're going to get all of the 3 things that I already mentioned, plus you'll get membership shout outs. So if you want to join, please feel free to do that. I set those levels up as low as I could price-wise. So, if you want to join, please join. You will get some, like I said, you'll get some early access. There'll be some video clips and little information shout-outs and stuff that non-channel members won't see. So, go ahead and if you want to click on that and join, that'd be great. I appreciate it. But, hey, you don't have to. Well, I got the mirror on there, and I got it adjusted. We did a whole video on how to adjust these. So I guess when I put it back on there, it wasn't in the exact same spot maybe or something, I don't know. But anyway, we adjusted it, loosened the screws up on the back and tilted it just a little bit. So I want to wash this off, but yeah, I don't want to hook up the hose. I've already got all that unhooked, so I got the flowering can here, flower watering can, something like that, and I'm going to put some soap on here. It's just some stuff that I got in one of the houses we cleaned out. Ooh, that ought to be way plenty. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to have to start buying stuff eventually, because all these houses that we used to get leftover stuff out of, we don't do that anymore. So I don't know what this stuff is. It's all over this, but it has to be overspray from that rust proofing stuff or something, because it's just
it's just all over this door, and it's not all over the truck, so I don't know what it is, but anyway, we need to get it off of here, because it has discolored the paint, and it looks bad, I think. I guess I should have been a little more careful spraying that stuff on here like that. Let's see if that helps any. It would be a lot handier with the garden hose, but oh well. Okay, well, I think that's about all we're going to do today. You can see we've got to cut this out yet and weld in a piece, and I want to patch this up because this is the air box that comes in, and then you can pull your vent open and all that stuff. Probably the reason that's rusted out is because the mice got in there, and we've already cleaned all that out. But anyway, yeah, so we'll get that patched up on the next video, if I do a next video. And what I mean by that is if I get it sold before then, I probably, and you've seen me do it, I'm just going to do it the same way I did the other side, so I may not film any of it. I don't know. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. But anyway, yeah, got to get that piece welded in there. I've got it in there, so we're getting there. I appreciate all of you. Be sure and like and share and comment. The big thing is watching this video all the way to the end, and so for those of you who have chosen to do that, I thank you very much. That's what's helped pay for all these projects. One vehicle at a time is all we can do. I mean, we saved this one from the junk pile, and old Blue Brown over there from the junk pile, and the LTD from the junk pile, and the 79 Chrysler 300 from the junk pile, and the 75 Dodge from the junk pile, and the 78 War Wagon. I mean, yeah, we've just been doing a little at a time, So anyway, thanks to all the members. Big shout out to Michael Curtis. He's one of our members, so I want to be sure and say that to him. And as always, we're making it just like brand used here, baby.